Guys, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe now because only 33.0% of people are subscribing. And leave a like down below. Thank you.
Hey guys, welcome to the 7th episode of Jatco's 5-minute bedtime stories. Today we'll be continuing Quidditch Through the Ages by J.K. Rowling. We owe our knowledge of the rude beginnings of Quidditch to the writings of the witch Curdle Kendley, who lived on the edge of Quidditch March in the 11th century. Unfortunately for us, she kept a diary, now in the Museum of Quidditch in London. The expertise below have been translating from the badly spelled Saxon of the original. Tuesday, hot. That's from a lot. The Martians have been at it again, playing a stupid games on their broomstick. A big leather ball handed in my cabbages. I burned the man who came for it. You like to see him fly at his knees for back and front of the big hairy hog. Tuesday, wet, was out on marsh picking nettles, broomsticks, idiots playing again, matches full bit behind a rock. They've gotten a new ball, throwing it to each other and trying to stick it in the trees, either end of the marsh, pointless rubbish. Tuesday, windy, plentiful came, nettle. Tea then invited me for a treat. End up watching those numbskulls playing these games. That big Scottish warlock from the bill was there. Now they got two big heavy rocks flying around, trying to knock them off their brooms. Unfortunately, it didn't happen while I was watching. Wankhog told me she often played herself when home is discussed. These extracts revealed much more than Curdle Kendley, who have discussed, quite apart from the fact that she only knew the name of one of these days of the week. Firstly, the ball landed in a cabbage patch, was made of leather in the modern quaffle naturally. The inflated baller used in the other broom games period would be difficult to throw accurately, particularly in the windy conditions. Secondly, Gertie tells us that men were trying to stick it in trees, either end of the march. Apparently, an early form of goal scoring. Thirdly, she gives us a glimpse of forehead runners or bludgers in a mentors interesting that it was a big Scottish warlock present. Could he have been a Cronton player? Was it his idea to bewitch heavy rocks to zoom dangerously around the pitch? We'll find no further mention of the sports played on Quidditch Marshall until a century later, when Wizards Goodwin Keene took up the quill and wrote right to his known cousin of. Keene lived in Yorkshire, which demonstrated the spread of the sports through Britain in the 100 years after. Gertie Curdle, the first that witnessed it. Keene letter and response in the archives of Northern Ministry of Magic. Dear Oath, how are you? I'm well, though Gambling has got a touch of dragon pox. We enjoyed a spirited game of Quidditch last Sunday night. Though poor Gambling was not up to playing catcher, and we had to use Ruffle the blacksmith instead. The team for Crunky played well, though was no match for us, for we had been practicing Bard all month and scored 42 times. Ruffle got a blunder in his head because old Yagi wasn't quick enough. There is enough was his club. The new scoring barrels worked well, 3 at each end on stilts. Ogron in the inn gave us them. She let us have free meat all night because we won as well. Gumberland was a bit angry too. I got back late. I had to suck a couple of nasty jingies, but I got my fingers back now. I'm sending this with the best owl I've got. Hope he makes it. Your cousin, Goodwin. Here we see how far the game has processed in a century. Goodwin's wife was to play catcher, probably the old term for chaser. The blooder, undoubtedly blooder, hit Ralph, the blacksmith, who could have been fended off by Uga, who was obviously playing beater. He was carrying a club. The goals are no longer trees, but barrels on stilts. One critical element in the game was still missing, however, the snitch. In addition, the fourth Quidditch ball did not occur until the middle of the 13th century, and it came about in a curious manner. Chapter 4: The Arrival of the Golden Snitch. From the early 11th, midget hunting had been very popular amongst many witches and wizards. The golden snitch is today a protected species, but at that time golden snitches were common in northern Europe through difficulty to detect by Mongols because of their attitude at hiding and their very great speed. Inductive size of a snitch, coupled with its remarkable agile in the air and talented at avoiding predators, merely adding the praise of wizards who caught them. A 12th century tapestry preserved in a museum of Quidditch show a group setting out to catch a snitch in a first position of Trustberry. Some hunters nets, others use wands, and still other attempts to catch the snitches with their bare hands. The tapestry reveals the fact that the snitch was often crushed in crapter. In final portions, the tapestry we see the wizards who caught the snitches being presented with a bag of gold.